Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
The Firefly Funhouse match from WrestleMania 36 is now behind us, and to directly quote one of the greatest promos this business has ever seen, Titus O'Neil, "I don't know what I just saw." Well, perhaps we know a bit more than Titus. Obligatory joke that he once kissed his son on the lips, but let's not shame Titus for loving his son. Every family has different ways of showing how much they love each other, just look at the front page of Pornhub. But the point I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of references and Easter eggs in the Firefly Funhouse match. And just like the classic Edgar Wright comedy Hot Fuzz, which I believe is the best movie from the Cornetto trilogy, Bray Wyatt vs John Cena from WrestleMania 36 gets better and better each time you watch it because you spot new things and you see other things in a new light, or just pick up on a subtle nuance that previously escaped your tiny brain because you were too busy being like Titus O'Neil and saying you don't know what you just saw. I'm the voice in your ears, Luke Owen, and these are all the Easter eggs, references, and breakdowns from the WrestleMania 36 Firefly Funhouse match. If we've missed any, please let me know in the comments down below. The match, if you want to call it that, opened with John Cena doing his usual entrance, including welcoming us to WrestleMania, only to be intercut with Vince McMahon doing the same introduction from WrestleMania 1. This is important because the running theme throughout the Firefly Funhouse match was John Cena's connection to Vince McMahon, and this edit compares Cena to McMahon's other greatest creation, WrestleMania, and, in essence, Hulkamania, which will also be a key part of this match. We then cut to Bray Wyatt on the original Firefly Funhouse set that we got back in the early days of the gimmick. Since The Fiend made his full in-ring debut at SummerSlam and Bray Wyatt started doing weekly promos for feuds, the Firefly Funhouse set was replaced with a blue background with a picture of Jerry Lawler. But WrestleMania 36 has taken us right back to where it all started, the 1950s kids show TV set complete with the remains of the Bray Wyatt standee that was cut up by a chainsaw in an early edition of the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt tells us that the Firefly Funhouse is a place outside of our realm of existence where gods, angels, monsters, and demons are neighbours. Now, I might be reaching here, but I do think that is important, so keep it in the back of your mind. Also, is it just me, or does that demon face look a bit like Kane's mask? Not sure what that could mean, other than the fact Kane is on the Firefly Funhouse wall, so that's probably just a coincidence. One interesting note, however, is that the demon has the same horns as the Vince McMahon puppet. Thanks for spotting that, Pete, and that one might not be a coincidence. The door also reads, "Abandon all hope, ye who exit here," a play on "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here" from Dante's Divine Comedy, which was the inscription at the entrance to hell. And John Cena is about to enter his own personal hell to take on his most dangerous challenger yet, himself. Cena is first greeted in the funhouse itself by the Vince McMahon puppet, who tells Cena that he needs to step up with ruthless aggression or he'll be fired. This is partly a true story. Cena was brought up from WWE's old developmental system OVW to be a new star, but failed in his early days to the point that WWE were going to let him go just a few months after his debut because he didn't get over. It's only because Stephanie McMahon heard him do some freestyle raps on a tour bus that she suggested he make that his gimmick, which saved his WWE career. Speaking of ruthless aggression, and Bray Wyatt is next standing in a ring cutting the Kurt Angle promo from Cena's SmackDown debut, with Cena coming out in front of the old SmackDown fist in his original short gear. In the ring, Cena keeps doing the same thing over and over again, saying ruthless aggression and swinging a punch which Bray Wyatt ducks. This is likely a reference to the criticisms of Cena's lack of in-ring prowess, but also his initial run where he just did the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, which is what nearly got him released. Bray even says, "I'm literally living your biggest failure right now, it's sad. I guess I can now see why you almost got fired." And speaking of failures, Wyatt also sings the entrance theme of Nikki Bella, a reference to their failed relationship. We then cut to Saturday night's main event, WWE's old show from the 1980s, which the UK-only video game challenge TV show Games Master once described as the muscle and hyperbole of the World Wrestling Federation. Why, yes, I do co-host a podcast that's reviewing every episode of Games Master, thanks for asking. In this segment, Wyatt, now in the Muscle Man dance gear, he did it better than I did, highlights how WWE as a business has always had a fascination with big sweaty men and their big sweaty vanity muscles, and you don't actually need in-ring talent to get over. Bray said that's what being a stud is all about, having muscles no matter what little talent you possess, before bringing out his tag team partner Johnny Large Meat, aka John Cena. This again ties into those criticisms of Cena's wrestling skills and his 5 moves of doom, and also adds to the comparisons of him and Hulk Hogan, who was the star of Saturday night's main event. Cena was the Hogan of the Cena era, the superhero who was always on top, even though more talented people could or should have been given a chance. Cena works so hard in this segment to keep up his physique that he literally cannot move anymore, a damning indictment of the WWE system if there ever was one. Adam Blobpier wrote in his notes about the reference to the old school WWF Big Blue Cage that Cena here is trapped in a cage of 80s masculinity. Even the name Johnny Large Meat is a slam on the lazy WWE stereotype of big men with big names like Big Show and Braun Strowman. Interestingly, in this segment we get Mr. McBossman, who is doing commentary with the Randy Savage inspired Mercy the Buzzard, says, damn it, keep those hands up, which is a reference to Vince McMahon's instructions of wrestlers to always have their hands up when another wrestler is punching them, because that's what you would do in a real fight. Kevin Owens talked about this on an old episode of Talk is Jericho, noting that he now can't unsee that wrestlers don't put their hands up when they work. It's considered by wrestlers who have worked for WWE just one of those weird Vince quirks that I'm sure Brody Lee will also make reference to at some point. The segment ends with a Stan Bush-like inspirational track about angels, see, there's that Angels reference, and Bray telling Cena what you're gonna do when you realize egomania has been running wild on you. And his egomania runs wild into the next segment, where Cena, for the second time in 2 years, appears at WrestleMania as the Doctor of Thugonomics, a gimmick that people have fond memories of, but also doesn't hold up in the cold hard light of day due to the problematic nature of simply making jokes about people being gay. Also, nice to see the green screen footage of the puppets dancing from the Muscle Man dance is reused here for the Thugonomics entrance, but that's neither here nor there. Back to the segment. Cena is dressed in New York Yankees gear, a possible reference to the CM Punk promo in the build to Money in the Bank 2011. More on that later, about how Cena has become the thing he hates, which was pointed out to us by SWAF Nation member Matthew Muldoon, so thanks for that one. Cena can only talk in rhymes here and says that Wyatt will never take away his limelight before calling him fat. This references the problematic nature of the Thugonomics gimmick, but also points out that, yes, that's the problem, John. You wouldn't let people take your limelight, and him making light of the weight of Husky Harris, Bray's old gimmick while he was in the original NXT, is a reference to the report that Bray was told to lose weight or he would be fired, which had previously been referenced in the Muscle Man Dance episode of Firefly Funhouse, which Bray still did better than I did. Cena also shames sex workers by calling Bray a slut for opportunity because he keeps blowing them, referencing how Bray has been given several high-profile matches but has never gotten them over. What's interesting is that none of that is Bray's fault, it was simply WWE's bad booking of the character, but Cena's egomania and friendship with Vince McMahon means he can't see past that. Wyatt responds to all of this with a super serious and emotional promo, where he says, "Chances. How dare you talk to me about chances, John Cena? I've had to earn everything I have ever been given in life, and they're still taking from me. You're the golden goose, John. Your chances, they're unlimited. You're untouchable. But you're not a hero, John. You're a bully. You're a horrible person. You take the weaknesses of others and turn them into jokes." Wow, there's so much to unpack here. Cena was given all the chances in the world, and even when he wasn't getting over as a super babyface, he was still pushed to the moon, even when WWE have given up on other wrestlers for a lot less. Cough Cedric Alexander, cough Ricochet, cough, need I go on. Wyatt also says that he worked hard for all of his chances, but they keep getting taken away from him. Hello, Goldberg. While Cena can do nothing wrong because he's untouchable. He also did make fun of everyone he faced and made them feel lesser than his standings, from R-Truth to Miz to CM Punk to Damien Sandow, the list goes on. He also called Cena a bully, a reference to several reports from ex-WWE wrestlers that Cena wasn't the nicest chap throughout his career. Most notably Alex Riley, who said that his time and push in WWE came to an end simply because he had a disagreement with Cena and Cena didn't like him. He told Chris Van Vliet, "I think it came down to, at the end, two men just not liking each other. As sad as that is, it had an impact on my career because he is who he is." Crime Time's JTG said that he once accidentally mentioned hustle, loyalty, respect for an interview with WWE magazine, and when Cena read that, shut down JTG's merchandise plans, which cost him a lot of money, and even claims that Cena laid into him and tag partner Shad Gaspard backstage after a match, and the following Raw, they were fired. A lot of people have said that Cena is a horrible person, some might even call him a monster. Reference number 2. Wyatt literally gives Cena the chance to apologize for all of this in this segment, and Cena responds by making a gay joke and talking about D's nuts, which isn't the first time he's made that joke in WWE. And Wyatt responds by hitting him with his own chain, the same way Cena lost the United States Championship to Carlito in his debut match. Thanks for that reference, Adam. So now we get to the real important part of this story, the loss at WrestleMania 30, which never should have happened. Wyatt reverts back to his old cult leader gimmick, complete with sheep mask, the rocking chair, and a shot of Sister Abigail, which I'm sure is Liv Morgan Reddit. Wyatt talks about how he should have won that match because the fans were behind him and not Cena. Wyatt asks, "You were supposed to be a man of the people, then why weren't you listening?" Complete with footage of WrestleMania 30 of fans singing "He's got the whole world in his hands" while Bray conducts them. "Hear them now, John. They wanted me. They needed me." And it's true. We did want Wyatt and almost treated him like a god. There's the third one. And I've often wondered why Cena didn't convince management that putting him over Bray was the wrong move, just like it was wrong for him to beat the Nexus in 2010. Perhaps Wyatt was a threat to the top of Cena's mountain, and remember, Big Match John doesn't like to share the limelight. Wyatt also called him Superman in this segment, a reference to the Super Cena hate he got for years, and suggests they rewrite history by having Cena do that much wanted heel turn by swinging the chair. Wyatt says, 6 years ago you made the wrong choice, cowboy. Fix it, John, asking him to battle his demons. There's the fourth! and this time Cena actually takes the swing. Which leads us to having an episode of WCW Monday Nitro on WrestleMania. Bloody hell, this was trippy. For more comparisons between Cena and Hulk Hogan. You see, prior to the New World Order, Hogan was being booed by WCW fans because they were sick of seeing him as the Superman babyface with all the vanity muscles doing the same thing over and over again. Sound familiar? But the heel turn at Bash at the Beach 96 completely turned his career around and gave him multiple years on top. And here we have Cena play that Hollywood Hogan role, also a nod to Cena's recent transition to Hollywood where he acts like a doofus playing air guitar. Could this have been the Cena heel turn? Just a little bit embarrassing? Would a heel turn really have worked? And does it really matter? He still would have been the top star in the company because he was friends with Vince McMahon, just as Hogan was with Eric Bischoff, here played by Bray Wyatt. We also get the Vince puppet saying this is such good shit, an obvious reference to the internet meme coming off the back of Jon Moxley's Talk is Jericho podcast about how Vince says that about everything he loves. In fairness, Bruce Pritchard has also been using that line for years when doing impressions of Vinnie Mac, so it's clearly a big running joke backstage in WWE. Cena, instead of celebrating with Bray Bischoff, gets fueled by all of his big losses and attacks Wyatt. While we get footage and clips from One Night Stand 2006, New Year's Revolution 2006, SummerSlam 2008, WrestleMania 27, Money in the Bank 2011, WrestleMania 28, TLC 2013, SummerSlam 2014 and 2016, No Mercy 2017, and WrestleMania 34, to a chorus of fans chanting, Cena sucks. The key ones in all of this are obviously One Night Stand 2006 and Money in the Bank 2011, both matches where the guys Cena were facing were more liked than he was. Rob Van Dam in front of his ECW faithful and CM Punk with his Chicago brothers and sisters. CM Punk WWE return confirmed, etc. It was so cool seeing the shot of Punk blowing that kiss to Vince McMahon as he ran into the crowd. That match rules. The final big reference here is that when Cena is beating up Wyatt, Bray is replaced by Huskus the Pig Boy, the avatar for Husky Harris, who was nearly fired unless he lost weight. This is likely calling out Cena for punching down on people who didn't deserve it, both physically and mentally, but also holding down younger talent like Bray Wyatt when he could have elevated them instead. Cena has buckled, The Fiend has won, who appears behind him to give him the mandible claw and Sister Abigail while Cena's promo from SmackDown is played, now with new meaning. This WrestleMania is going to accomplish what should have happened 6 years ago, ending the existence of the most overhyped, overvalued and overprivileged WWE superstar in existence. And when Cena disappears after the Sister Abigail, it would appear that prophecy was fulfilled. The Fiend has removed John Cena, the most overhyped, overvalued and overprivileged WWE superstar in existence, from WWE. What a match, what a WrestleMania moment, and what a brilliant bit of character work. Hats off to both men for putting this together, the production team who made it a reality, and WWE for putting it on in the first place. This is a match that people will be talking about for years to come, and it's totally reignited the passion fans had for The Fiend after WWE dropped the ball at Hell in a Cell 2019. Bray Wyatt is a genius and should be applauded as one. Now, we think we've done a pretty deep dive into all of this, but there's probably stuff that we missed, so let us know in the comments. Let's keep talking about this. Let's find new interpretations of the segments because it's very, very exciting. And click the videos that have appeared on screen right now for more awesome WrestleTalk things. Thanks to Pete Quinnell and Adam Blompier for their help on all of this, and Rich for doing the brilliant editing work. I've been Luke Owen, and that was Wrestle.